Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Houston Rockets hired assistant coach from the Brooklyn Nets, Royal Ivey, former player. Was not that great of a player. I think he played for a lot of teams in the NBA, but has done pretty good with the Nets the last couple years as an assistant coach, and was one of the top assistants for the Brooklyn Nets last year. And with the Rockets hiring him, this is the first hiring move the Rockets have made for Ime Udoka's staff. And I like it. This is a move. This is a guy that Ime Udoka wanted on his staff. I think it should be a good move. I think a lot of the Rockets assistant coaches were not that great with our guys. I mean, they were solid, but I just think a lot of the guys, I don't know. I just feel like some of our assistant coaches were a little bit soft, and I'm not talking about John Lucas, because John Lucas, he is hard as crap, and I think Ime Udoka is gonna want him back. I do think John Lucas is gonna be probably, if not the only one of the only assistant coaches for the Rockets that comes back next season, because John Lucas doesn't F around, and he's been with this team since I think 2017, if not farther than that. Coaching our players back in when we were competing with Harden and Chris Paul, and John Lucas, he is a stud though. He is. And I wasn't surprised that the Rockets didn't interview him as our head coach, which I'm not saying he should have been our head coach. I think we're fine with Ime Udoka, but hey, I think he is a good enough assistant where he could get an interview with the team. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, but I think John Lucas is that good of assistant. He coached 2 NBA games. He was our head coach for 2 games, because last year, sadly, Steven Silas's dad passed away, and we had a game the day Steven Silas's dad passed away, and they beat the Phoenix Suns. No, never mind. That was Silas's game back. Steven Silas came back against the Phoenix Suns, and they won, and they won for Steven, and he was very emotional. I mean, that was one of my favorite moments of Steven, because we beat the Suns, and he goes up to Monty Williams, and he just starts crying on his shoulder. I mean, that was very sad. That was a very sad day. I mean, he came back after 2 days after his dad passed away, but yeah, the Sunday before that, we beat the Bucks, and John Lucas coached an incredible game. And then, if not a month or maybe a couple weeks later, it was a while. I think John Lucas's dad died in like January, something like that, and I think February was when his dad's funeral was, and Lucas had to coach a game against Detroit, and the Rockets won that one. So Lucas coached 2 games for the Rockets here, and they won both games. The guys played really hard. I'm not saying that's a reason why. I'm not saying that should have given him maybe a head coaching opportunity, but he's a really good assistant head coach, and I think that Ime Udoka, if he does some research on John Lucas, he's going to see that he wants to bring this guy back, and he's going to want John Lucas to be our assistant head coach next season. I think that would definitely be the right move for the Rockets. But getting into Royal Ivey, he's a really solid assistant coach, and I think there's a possibility that the Rockets could be maybe bringing in a couple players that he's coached as well. Number one, the Rockets have interest in a Brooklyn Net, Cam Johnson, in free agency, who he coached last year for some of the year. The Rockets are maybe interested in maybe doing a huge deal and trading the 4th overall pick for Mikal Bridges and Dorian Finney-Smith, which would be like Kevin Porter Jr., KJ Martin, Jayshawn Tate, and the 4th overall pick for Dorian Finney-Smith, Mikal Bridges, and the 21st and 22nd overall pick. So Rockets get 2 late first rounders Dorian Finney-Smith and Mikal Bridges, and the Rockets give up the 4th overall pick and 3 players, which would be a solid trade for the Rockets. So I think the Rockets definitely have interest in some Brooklyn Nets players, which could be something interesting. But I think Royal Ivey, he's going to be a decent assistant coach for us next year, and but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see how the Rockets fill out the rest of their staff. And this is one move. There's still, I don't think a lot of the guys that were on the coaching staff last year with Steven Silas are going to be returning. The only guy right now I could really see returning to the coaching staff from last year that is currently that will currently probably be with the Rockets next year is probably John Lucas. That's the only guy I really see the Rockets bringing back from the coaching staff of last year. I see everybody new staff and then John Lucas with the new staff, most likely. Maybe there's probably one more guy you bring in from the staff last year, but Ime is going to want his own staff, so he's most comfortable coaching, and I think that's totally fine. We want him to be at his best coaching, and that's really it for the video, though. Hope you guys enjoyed them, your thoughts, and peace out. Go Rockets.